Hey guys, it's Sammy, aka King Arthur, and today we've got a class for those who feel that today's modern shooters may be a little too modern, and they want to get back to basics. For those of you, I present the Sword and Board Warrior, where we make use of the knife, shield and throwing axe to rain as much terror as we can. Before we go any further, let's get on with the class setup. So obviously we're going to need the shield. I would recommend using at least one axe and a stun grenade. Flak jacket and tack mask are going to be quite good for complementing your already quite solid defense, which makes it a lot harder for those enemies just trying to incapacitate you or just blow you up. Making use of a perk 2 wildcard, we can use the combo of fast hands and scavenger to allow us to switch to our blade faster, throw our stuns and axes faster, as well as keeping our equipment topped up. So with your remaining points, you've got a couple of options left. You can either use danger close to get an extra axe, or as I had more luck with, 2 stun grenades, and then I obviously had an extra point left over which I spent on a ballistic knife. If you're using it with a combination of the stun grenades, even with terrible aim like me, you should be able to find it quite easy to hit them, seeing as they can barely move. So perhaps try it out. Perks like lightweight and extreme conditioning, although they can be quite handy, I decided that with stun grenades I wasn't really too concerned with enemies outrunning me, because they'd just be stood there completely helpless. I guess other than that, the only perks worth considering would be Ghost and maybe Dexterity for mantling all those objects a bit faster. But of course the choice is down to you. So as with all Riot Shield classes, you're probably going to want to try and keep your encounters in a 1-to-1 basis. It's not always possible, but if you can help it, then try it out. I was playing mainly on free-for-all for this reason, just because the maps are quite big and I just didn't seem to run into 2 people at the same time all too often. For the same reason, Search and Destroy would be quite good to try this on as well. So the most effective way of getting kills I found was to try and, if possible, to try and use as much cover as you can to throw a stun grenade. If not, just try and wait until the enemy looks like they're reloading or going to throw a grenade or something along those lines. Throw the stun grenade, then run at them. If they're shooting, walk, maybe crouch if you're taking damage, and then switch to your knife on their side rather than right in front of him. It took me a while to realise I kept dying in front of it, but you'll eventually get the hang of it. You can of course make use of your throwing axes and ballistic knife if the enemy's quite far out of range. And I never really used the shield bash much, but sometimes as a last resort it's pretty much no option. You can also use the throwing axe as sort of a quick knife, I guess, if you aim it right at them. If you're accurate enough with fast hands, it can work. Other than that, you've got your work cut out, because it's not necessarily the easiest build, and you won't be getting kills that fast, but during the time I was playing, I did play second quite a few times with, you know, an even KD. There were some games where it was just terrible. I think the larger maps are a lot better just because you're less likely to run into 2 people at the same time, which is of course a bit of a downfall to this build. So I'm pretty sure I've covered everything, but I should probably mention that if you are going to use a ballistic knife, then you don't get the sort of inbuilt extreme conditioning that you do with the combat knife. So you are spending a point for something that in some ways isn't quite as good as what you had before. So definitely worth thinking about there. If you're after any other Riot Shield builds, then don't forget to have a look at the playlist that should be down below in the description. And thank you for watching. Bye bye now. Bye bye.